Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another edition of Where I Went Wrong. So firstly, where I went wrong is I keep letting these Where I Went Wrong videos drag on so long. I'm not talking about the time limit, but like I should be posting these Sunday, because Saturday the fights typically end really Sunday. Sometimes they end Saturday, but mostly they be ending Sunday. Cause so I should be dropping like Sunday soon. Soon as the car wraps up, I should be dropping these videos and just like dropping them instead of like dropping like what is it Thursday now? That fight card was Saturday, and now we're about to have a fight card in like what 2 days. Like it's really dragging, so I should be posting these much earlier. If I'm gonna play, I might as well just drop the whole series. So like that's why I went wrong. Firstly, but now to the actual where I went wrong. But firstly, with the where I went wrong video, shout out to Jalen Turner's mom once again. She was in the competition, being defending her son. This. Well, I'm not even defending her son because I wasn't talking trash about nothing. But she, just repping her son, like not standing up like in defense or anything, but like being a good mom and whatnot. So shout out to her. And I didn't change my pick, but I was definitely close to changing it, but I ultimately did not. So definitely a loss for me but open my eyes up right there. But that's the first pick I'm gonna go on. But again, shout out to her. I love to see it. Love to see it. Love to see it. And like I said, that's like energy I love to see. I love that family. I love that bond. And son's very talented. Jalen Turner's very talented. At no point did I say he wasn't talented or whatever the case may be. But bright future ahead of him. Just keep improving, keep improving. Sky's the limit for him. Whether it be at welterweight, lightweight, sky's the limit. Maybe even jump up to middleweight. Maybe jump over the Dagestanis and Khamzat Chimaev. They want to be 3-weight champions or 2-weight champions, whatever the case may be, and he just overstepped them. But that's much in the future. But just keep doing that, keep improving. Sky's the limit. No one says that they're destined for this or this is destined for that. You grab destiny by the hand, and that's what he do, or that's what he has been doing. Like he's been proving me wrong with like 2 times now, or like 3 times, something like that. Anyway, just keep doing that, and or there's no nothing you can do against winning, and you winning. That's winning shuts everybody up. That's what he's been doing. But yeah, where I firstly went wrong is lightweight division. My second fight on this card was Ladovic Klein versus Devontae Smith. So my first loss. I just was not impressed with Ladovic Klein. I'm not talking about in the fight. I'm talking about prior to this fight. His fight with Nate Landwehr, to get boxed up and beat and wrestled and beat in literally every area, then stopped by Nate Landwehr. I was not impressed. You literally went with against a guy with the least defense probably in the whole division. I mean, the whole UFC at this moment. Matter of fact, not in the whole UFC. Chris Montino's about to fight on this next card, so that guy's defense is even less than Nate Landwehr's. But that was not a good look. But hey, going to 155 was a good look for him. I'm not necessarily saying no great high ceiling for him in lightweight. I think he'll get washed pretty soon, but definitely I feel like, I don't know, maybe a better weight class for him, or at least better matchup for him. Devontae Smith on the other side, like stocks drop a lot. I guess guys he beat are people that have zero defense and are chinny, maybe lack of wrestling, a very very big deficit in wrestling. But I think mostly the people he has beaten have been people with lack of defense and lack of chin. Those people he typically beat. Klein only got no great defense, but it's definitely not a bad, poor defense, and his chin is definitely not glass. So when I'm picking for Devontae Smith, I guess it's going to be a case of very low talent people for them beat, or people with lack of defense and lack of chin. That's the thing. So, but yeah, where I went wrong is one, I guess, underestimated Klein's wrestling defense, overestimated Devontae Smith's striking and wrestling to a degree. Devontae Smith's wrestling ain't all that bad. I think Klein's wrestling defense was just very, very sharp, very, very sharp in this one. So I was very questioning that, but I still think maybe the higher upper echelon wrestlers still can have their way with Klein in the wrestling, but people around the middle, lower end, he gonna be a stuff a lot of their takedowns. But good one for Klein. I think the most impressive thing from him was the takedown defense. The finishing ability, the fight IQ to finish was kind of off. Like every time you hurt your opponent, you just clinching out with them and giving them space to breathe. Maybe he had a bet that it was going to go to decision, so he wasn't going for the finish, but not very smart by him. It did kind of slow down in third, but ultimately, yeah, it was a solid performance by him. Showed some solid skills. Most impressed with the takedown defense. Looked very sharp, very clean, and looked very explosive on that takedown defense. The next fight was just the biggest mistake on the whole card was putting a lock on Tagir Ulanbekov right here. That was the biggest mistake. But can I really say it's a big mistake? You're going in with those Dagestani coming from the Khabib branch. Tim Elliott typically loses. As a matter of fact, always loses. A history of losing it. Anytime he fight, he's a dog. Anytime he takes steps up, he loses. So historically, that was a lock bet. Like historically, and based on who he's fighting, the skill level, it was a lock bet. But yeah, historically it was a lock bet. But yeah, also with some dirty stuff going in there. But if the Tagir Ulanbekov is coming from where he's coming from, training who's with you, training with him, supposed to be this and supposed to be that, it don't matter what Tim Elliott does. It's like you can't be in hindsight like, oh, this guy poked me in the eye, or this guy kicked me in the nuts, or this guy did this and did that. You got to go out there and win. You can't go out there and expect the judge to win. If the judge is not doing it, you got to do it back to them. You got to have a winner's mindset, winner's mentality, win by any means necessary. You can't go out there and expecting everything to be clean. If the ref allowing the fly, you got to do what you got to do to get the hand raised. Point probably should have been deducted from Tim Elliott. Illegal knees, eye pokes, probably should have got a point deducted. But even then, Ulanbekov did not fight to the best of his ability. I feel like he still could have got a win potentially on the judge's scorecard. But again, I feel like he should have performed a lot better than he performed. I still got solid future ahead of him. I predict a solid future ahead of him. But I don't think he's gonna have that championship caliber career. At least not in the UFC. Probably be in the UFC. Might be a title challenger, but I don't think he'll win the belt because again in this fight. But then again, this looking too far ahead. But these are the fights that determine them in a way, or at least can give you a window into the future. When the fight going to get tough, or you got to do the extra things, you got that extra dog in you, or the extra dirt, or whatever the case may be, to do what needs to be done to get your hand raised. Or are you gonna be expecting, looking at the ref to do something for you, and those very much can cause you to be a big factor in losing the fight or winning the fight. You gotta go out there just looking to do that, like do damage to make things work. Oh, maybe you could do an Aljamain Sterling and fake an injury. I mean, not fake an injury, but fake a foul. Not fake a foul, but like somebody foul you, you over exaggerate, you got poked in the eye, roll on the ground, and they give you a DQ victory. Maybe you could do that, but other than that, a lot of times those refs not gonna really be on your side typically, or their whole thing is just keep the fight going. So we try to look for those fight stoppages and points deductions and looking at the ref. That's time you're not spending actively trying to win the fight. That's you trying to get a pause into the fight because obviously you were fouled and you want some time, but still. Tim Elliott looked pretty good, but actually Tim Elliott does got low key got a potential chance to change his career around, low key, but I don't really see it happen. I think he might be able to pick up a couple more wins. I think he matched up pretty decently with Brandon Moreno. I don't think he matched all that well with Askar Askarov. Well, he did have a decent fight with him, but I think Askarov beats him again. Similar matchup. I think Brandon Moreno's a pretty good chance. He got a good, but Devin Figueiredo I think stops him again. Yeah, so he got some decent matches, but I think Brandon Moreno champion, he gets a title fight. That's a good opportunity that he could potentially actually become a champion. I feel, but yeah. Tim Elliott's Tim Elliott. He looked much sharper, probably the best he's ever looked. But at the same time, he looked like Tim Elliott. So, and he did get by on dirty tactics. Maybe he didn't intend to be dirty, but I feel like some of that had to definitely be intentional. But hey, he got his hand raised. Tagir Ulanbekov, typically you don't go lock on a person that doesn't have that much experience in the UFC. But when they come from the camp that they come from, and I guess you gotta, expect success typically with that thing. So matter of fact, I did ride the Dagestani train in that one. I rode the Dagestani train, but even still, pick is not bad, but lock was the issue. Picking Tagir Ulanbekov was not bad. Maybe high confidence, but lock should not have been there. Umar Nurmagomedov, I feel like that would have been lock regardless. What it would some fluke thing would have happened, or some bad decision, or Brian Kelleher would have just came for him that night and won or something. I feel like lockback for Umar Nurmagomedov was there because I just already see the skill, the talent, and the dominance from Umar Nurmagomedov in every single fight of his. So I could do nothing else but lock, and that went just as I expected. I think I said second round was first round, but anywho, that's the pick I got right. But so now the two picks I got right. I mean wrong so far were Klein. Well, I speak Smith, but yeah, Smith was wrong, Klein was right, Ulanbekov was wrong, Elliott was right. So I got those two wrong. I got 5 wrong. Also, I didn't announce how many I got wrong in this card. I went 8-5. Started off, kind of rocky, but finished pretty strong. I think 61% average, which is actually still pretty solid. Pretty up there. A lot of people both. So I had a 62, 63% for the whole year, or what the case may be. So 61, that's pretty solid. Average. I kind of up there with, the people that are actually pretty decent at what they're doing. So 8-5, not the best, but that's actually up there pretty solid. Now if I would have just switched one of these picks, that would have been like 9-5 or something, or 9-4. But not a bad card at all. Only thing I really truly be mad about is the Ulanbekov pick. And I'm not even too mad about that one, to be honest. But yeah, 8-5 or 8 of 13 13 or something. 9, 10, 11, 12, yeah. 8-5 or 8 of 13, so pretty solid. Then the next pick, like a matter of fact, all these picks kind of I got wrong were like really almost in the same spot on the card. Then Marina Monroe versus Maria Agapova. I think I might even went with lock with Agapova, but don't quote me on that. But this was, in hindsight, was a bad pick. I feel like on paper, but I didn't know the fact that they trained together and that Agapova, Morose had so much success grappling Agapova. Even though Morose ain't such a great grappler, she has shown a little bit of her grappling look pretty decent there. And Agapova had never necessarily shown poor grappling defense. Well, I mean, she did in that one fight, but she kind of had like that Gustafsson, it's not technical or properly technical, but it works type of defense grappling. So I thought, like, and Monroe's, like I said, not the stellar grappler, so I didn't think it would be that big of an issue. But the fact that they had trained together, you know how to deal with opponent because you've been training with them. You've been doing this to them in the gym all the time. So it's like she did what she did in the gym. So if I would have known that, maybe, if I would have known that, that would have been a clear pick for Monroe's. But I didn't know that. Maybe I should have did some more research. But I think that's lack of research. But if they didn't train together, I feel like Agapova would have did better, potentially won. But the fact that she did know her and did know her weaknesses and did know how to get her to her points where she's weak at, it was like she had a cheat code sheet to how to beat her, and she just executed on that cheat code sheet. But good one for Marina Moroz. Lost for me. Lost for Agapova in that one. But yeah, so good for her. And good for Ukraine, I guess, because she shot out her home country and got her hand raised. Agapova got to work on that grappling big time. She got to work on that big time. Or a lot of women now going to start to be looking to grapple her and know how to approach her. And they're not going to just strike with her. She might get some women that just prefer to strike. But if she wants to get anyone in this division, they're going to be definitely looking to put her on the mat. So, yeah. Was that 3? Now where's 4 at? Nick Nicamarano versus Kennedy Nchukwu. I went Nick Nicamarano by decision, so perfect pick. But this fight clearly went the other way to Kennedy Nchukwu and probably should have been a draw. But that's one I got lucky on and picked it, underdog, and I went through. But all I mentioned this one is for is that same way you can pick picks that are perfect in a way, but the judges don't pick it wrong. The same way the judges, you get a pick wrong and judges can pick it the other way. So that's the nature of MMA, nature of sports. Anytime you leave it to the judges or leave it to other people, it could go other ways than what actually happened or what was expected to happen. But yeah, in this case, it went in my favor. Same way with Marina Rodriguez versus Yao Nan Yan. But again, I was on the right side of it. Marina Rodriguez got a robbery decision, or not a robbery, but not the best decision. Same with Nick Nicamarano, especially with the point deduction. It's not a robbery because of the point deduction, but not the best decision. Marina Rodriguez, just not the best decision. It wasn't like she got washed up, but I feel like it was clear Yan won, but Marina Rodriguez got it. So back to back, I got saved. And then my 4 pick I got wrong was Jalen Turner versus Jamie Malarkey. And again, shout out to Mama Turner. But yeah, this one, I just felt like Jamie Malarkey was the more well-rounded fighter and was going to use, attack in multifaceted ways, whereas Jalen Turner mostly was going to strike. Maybe if he hurt him, he was going to go for a submission, but he wasn't going to go out there looking for takedowns, looking for trips or anything like that. He was going to go out there looking to strike and defend takedowns. So competitive fight, pick up on paper, go with the guy that's going to be doing more things. But ultimately, Jalen Turner, he did get taken down at the end of that first round. First round was relatively competitive, but in that second round, he locked in and just picked apart Jamie Malarkey and put him out in short succession. So, looked good, but again, still got to work on that wrestling. Still got to work on it. Held up. It didn't want, got him through to where he needed to be and be on the feet and get his work done. Use that height, use that reach. Good shot selection. Good composure. Composed under the fire and just let his hands go, but definitely still an area to work on going forward. Always work on, especially when you got these Islam Makhachevs up there and these Gregor Gillespies and all these little wrestlers hugging the top. I mean, he's not there yet. Not necessarily worried about that yet, but he wants to be there. So you gotta keep working on that. But like the improvements I've seen, and good for him. Lost to me, lost to Malarkey, win for Turner, and in all likelihood, I'm gonna be on that Turner bandwagon going forward, depending. But I always say that because, like, then again, you don't know who they can match him up. They might match him up with the person I feel is the worst stylist to match him for him at his given time. And yeah, but guy's big, young, strong, good frame him, and ever improving. So always a problem like that. So Definitely looking forward to some of his fights, and hopefully I'm on the bandwagon. I mean, not on the bandwagon, but I'm not even gonna say it no more. But yeah, definitely gonna have my eye on him. That's the thing to say. I definitely gonna have my eye on him going forward. Now I have had my eye on him, but I just have not. I just feel like some of the matchups like were close, but I feel like again like what I go with a lot of times in close matchups I lean to the guy that's gonna do more, and that's what's been getting me turn I guess in the last two fights. But yeah, well actually the guy in the last fight was a one-dimensional fighter. He was a multi-dimensional fighter. But yeah. Anywho, looking stellar, and for him doing all the things he needs to do to excel, and it's coming through. Then the last pick I got wrong was Bryce Mitchell versus Edson Barboza. I went with Barboza. I just feel like Mitchell had not really fought a guy that's, really credible in takedown defense. It's not like Edson Barboza has no credible take. Well, he does got some solid takedown defense, but he does have a bad history with wrestlers. And once again, wrestler grapplers. Once again, rinse and repeat. History repeats itself. So I knew that was a reach pick. I think I even put low confidence. I definitely not put no lock. I did not put high on this one. It was average or low at best. So, or low or average at best. And it played out typical Edson Barboza versus a grappler wrestler, aggressive grappler wrestler. He was put on the ground and beat on and pressured for 3 rounds. It just, I guess, that's his style that's going to continue to plague him to the day he retires. So, Bryce Mitchell looked good, looked strong, and, looked like himself. But again, what I feel in this one, I feel like the guy like Charles Rosa, anybody could take him down. These other guys, I don't know, he fought some other people. These other guys, like really most people he fought had negative takedown defense, like Charles Rosa and some other guys. So, or guys that prefer to try to grapple off bottom. I think for maybe 2 decent guys that I think both of those guys out wrestled him, but those were in the past. He got much better since those fights. Like what the Bobby Moffett, I think Bobby Moffett took him down like 7 times, 3 or something, and then with some other cases. But most of the other fights, it was like he was the one. The people he was taking down, let anybody take him down. For example, Charles Rosa. I would say everybody's on the caliber. Charles Rosa, for the most part, the people he had beat prior to this fight. And then but Andre Philly. So Andre Philly probably was one of the solid ones. He took Philly down 7 times, so that should have been enough. But I went with a dog. Sometimes you gotta risk it. Sometimes you just see things, or sometimes you just like I don't think it's just not most likely not gonna happen, but maybe it will. And given this and given that, it's enough information to kind of lean that way. That's what that was. It was a reach pick. I know it was a reach pick, and I reached on it, and it did not come through, but was very much in the realms of expectations, or what should be expected. But yeah, that's the my 5 ones I got wrong. 8 and 5, 8 of 13, pretty solid. Like 61% or 61.8 or whatever the case may be. Or I say 61.8, but yeah. Picks I got wrong. Devontae Smith against Klein was wrong. Tagir Lubecka versus Elliott was wrong. Agapo versus Moroz was wrong. Turner against Malarkey Malarkey against Turner was wrong. Got Malarkey, picked him and it was wrong. And then Edson Barboza versus Bryce Mitchell, which was the most obvious one. If you had to expect out of all those 5 who would lose, the biggest chance of losing it was definitely Barboza, given his history. But nonetheless, solid card. And this guy make better decisions going forward. But ultimately, I think I started the year with like 500, 5 and 5 or something to start the year. But been having pretty solid cards throughout, and I haven't really been crunching the numbers about my odds, but I know it's definitely above 61% right now. So, but solid year throughout right now. Solid card. Kobe Covington versus Jorge Masvidal went just as expected. And anybody that watched any of like 2 or 3 of their fights and had any bit of knowledge on them knew that would happen. Maybe they might went for like a finish or something, but decision should have been expected, and that by that method and that style should have been expected. But I picked Kobe Covington. So yeah, I'm just saying that. I always got to mention the main events somehow, some way. Whether it be for second, minute, 2 minutes, just gotta throw it in there. But solid card. Could have been better in some areas. Really, I guess the smart thing I could have said is like not made Ulanbekov block. And if somebody already tells you who they are and has shown you who they are multiple times, should just went with Bryce Mitchell in that one. That was a clear one. Unnecessary reach. But I do that every now and then. He's predicting like 13 fights. You can throw some reaches in there. You don't have to go, safe or textbook where every single one. So you can throw some reaches in there. It's okay. It's okay. Don't gotta be perfect. But you definitely could shave a lot of losses just doing these unnecessary reaches. Only reach when it's necessary. And that was not a necessary reach. But that's the video. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and also throw a shout out to what's his name right now? I'm forgetting his name right now. I might as well just end the video. Oh, Tank White, because he said he been doing pretty good on these picks where he's really confident on. I'm kind of like on the fence on. And he got like 80%, 85%. You know, pretty solid percentage on those picks. Like when I'm on the fence and he's certain about a pick. He do some look backs on them. So, and another thing, I've definitely been looking to do some videos where, not videos, but like live streams where I talk with some of y'all and well, not some of y'all, all of y'all, whoever wants to tune in. And I'm probably gonna post on my Twitter when I'm gonna go live. And then like we can really get these picks down and bring those averages up a lot, and get some crazy, crazy good bets in there, some crazy, crazy good accuracies on these cards. Because the picks I might not be sharp on, go back and do some revisions on and look at, and really, come to the best picks. Because right now I'm doing pretty good, I'm doing pretty solid, but I can always be better. And it's always good to have second looks instead of just looking back at yourself. Have other people to look at and hear from, and then again mix your research up, and gather your intel, and then really come to the best picks. Especially the ones that I know the ones I'm lock on, like truly lock on, be truly lock on. But the ones that's like shaky, those are the ones that could always need improvement or work on improvement. And yeah, this gives you more intel and gives you more chances. Also, it probably helps with props and other bets, because then if I get more into those on the live stream than I do in these videos and the quick picks and the full card prediction videos. But definitely looking to do some live streams. And I've really been thinking about creating a Twitch, but all stuff in the future. If y'all made it this far, comment down below if that's something y'all will be interested in. Maybe if I do a Twitch with you, something you subscribe to, or if I do this, do that, maybe make that like a paid service or create a Discord or anything like that. Something y'all would be interested in paying for. Would it be like one fee, one large fee, and that's just for eternity? Or like, not even that large. Because the first come, first serve people probably get like a lifetime thing. And then people later on probably could just do monthly or this yearly type stuff in the future. But the people that they got in early, pay probably like a good little bit of money, nothing over 100, nothing even probably 50, probably below $50, and then or 50 or below, and you get lifetime access type thing. But because you're the people that started up beginning, that's so you're doing me a favor, and I'm returning that favor, and everybody's winning basically type thing. But yeah, that's stuff I'm thinking about and have been thinking about. So y'all interested in that, comment down whether you like the idea or not. I'll probably even post a community thread or post sometime in the future, but on that same subject. But that's the video. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and come back for more videos. Peace.